Welcome to Easy Email Marketing. I'm your host, Yale Keown, mum, FIFO wife, MBA, coffee lover, survivor superfan, and creator of the email experience. In Easy Email Marketing, you'll benefit from my nearly 20 years experience, where I'll be teaching you all the tips, tricks, and insider info on how to create feel-good, non-spammy experiences for your subscribers. Let's get stuck in. Welcome back to Easy Email Marketing. I'm your host, Yale Keown, and as this episode is released, we are in the beginning of December. It's that mad rush for the end of school year, and I don't know about you, but I am already exhausted. I actually had my 40th birthday a couple of weeks ago. I've been to the Foo Fighters concert, and then there's all the school stuff. We've got the school concert tonight and all the just school events and wrap-up things, as well as just getting organised for Christmas and trying to get everything done before the kids start their holidays. So I don't know about you, but I am ready for a break. Maybe you have an amazing holiday booked over the summer holidays. If you are listening in Australia, we're going into our big summer holidays. Or you just want some family time over Christmas, or maybe you just want some time out. Definitely nothing wrong with that. But I do have good news for you. With email marketing, it can still be super easy to take time off your business and off your email marketing without stopping your sales. Now, obviously, this may take a little bit of prep, but I'm going to keep this as easy as possible and share a few different ways and a few different tips I have for taking some time off your email marketing so you can take that well-deserved break and really enjoy the holiday season with your family and hopefully get a little bit of me time as well. Okay, so let's dive straight in. Tip number 1. You can stop. I give you full permission to take a break from actually sending emails, especially if this is naturally a quieter time of year for your business. Now, I know this doesn't necessarily apply to everyone. My e-commerce listeners, I know like Boxing Day sales are huge. People are still now buying things last minute for Christmas. So there are some layers in there that you're like, you know what, I can't quite take the time off now. I need to be sending these emails. So if that's you, don't run away. You can listen on for other tips. But if it is naturally a quieter time, then you can stop. You can give yourself a week or two off your emails, if not more. My thing is, though, just make sure you set a date to return. So do make a commitment. Do put it in your calendar. Say, you know what, this is going to be when I'm going to send my first email next year. Give yourself the gift of knowing what it's going to be about so you don't get into that funk and you're just like, I don't even know where to begin. And set a date to return, because we do not want to get it to the end of January, February, even into March. And then next thing you know, first quarter's done and you haven't sent an email, and now you're thinking about re-engagement and all of that stuff. You know, people take a few weeks off all the time and you probably don't even notice. So take a break, give yourself permission. It's totally okay. Just set a date to return. Along with that though, my second tip is to be honest and make sure you communicate deadlines. So this is a great time to be able to email your list super practical stuff that still encourages sales, because the last thing you want is for someone to come along last minute saying, oh, I really want this, and it's too late, you won't be able to ship it in time, or now your calendar's booked out, or you don't have any availability into your calendar until a certain time. So start now by sending out a super practical email about your availability, about when you are taking new bookings or how many slots you have left for the year, when you need to know by, if you have any shipping deadlines for things, make sure you are communicating those, and being realistic and just saying, you know what, I'm celebrating, I'm excited. You can do this along the lines of like, I'm so looking forward to Christmas, I'm wishing you everything, all the best, all of that good stuff. But communicating that stuff from the beginning, because if people can't work with what they don't know. So definitely it is hugely valuable to communicate your deadlines and things like that. And then tip number 3, especially for those of you with service-based businesses or with businesses where you are, have digital courses or products where you provide some sort of level of support, make sure you're sending out a separate email to those groups of people. So send an email out to your clients to say when you're going to be available so they know when they can expect answers from you. Send an email out to your course participants or your membership people and say, you know what, I'm going to be taking some time off. So if you need support, let me know then. Otherwise, it will be after such and such a time, or give them alternatives. Many people are pretty understanding. And again, people are quite, it's much more quiet this time of year. So along those lines, think about having an autoresponder set up. It's kind of not email marketing technically, but if you're sending out emails and people may be replying to them, then you want to have that autoresponder set up saying, I'm not back on board until such and such a date. Or it could just be, you know what, the kids are on holidays, so I'm just not getting to check my emails as much. So it may take me a couple more days to get back to you than used to. And if there is something that you think might come up, like if there is something super urgent, perhaps there is another alternative way you can get people to contact you that you will see it, but you reserve that just for your strict, deadlines. Like there's some big issue with payment or access or some big tech support problem. You might need to define what those things are. Okay, so we've said you can stop. We said that you should take this opportunity to be honest and communicate your deadlines and availabilities. And along with that, tip 3 is all about, again, pre-communicating to your client groups and create segments for your clients or your students to let them know your availability. And along those lines, having that autoresponder set up. But I do have a couple of tips around keeping the ball rolling, around actually sending those emails out. And the first one is to pre-schedule as much as possible. So that's one of the beauties of email, is that you can pre-schedule everything. So even if it is coming into Boxing Day sales and it's going to be one of your busiest times, there's no reason why you can't even have those scheduled today. There's no reason why you can't write those emails right now and get them pre-scheduled, ready to go. This also applies if you are in a business where it's just like New Year's is just a natural time when things get busy. Obviously, if you are involved with planning or anything where people, tend to make a lot of New Year's resolutions about, money, health, all of those areas, you might have some tips around that, or even things around, mindset and just really taking time to reflect and, all that self-improvement stuff. So often that comes on the increase and people are much more interested in that. But if that's you, pre-schedule as much of that as possible because you can do that as early as you like. And then following from there, tip 5, keep the content simple. So back in episode 70, which I recorded similar time last year, I shared a whole variety of quick and easy email ideas for the end of the year. So definitely check that out. But a couple of quick ones that I can mention here are firstly to repurpose last year's content. So if you are in one of those niches that I spoke about, and there's only so many different ways you can talk about planning or, health resolutions or money budgeting for the year, you've probably written stuff about this. So repurpose either last year's emails or last year's social media content or blog posts, whatever it was. People don't mind getting the same thing over and over again. They're not going to forget. So they're not going to remember every single word that you said in those emails. And if they did, they're the raving fans. So repurpose last year's. Just have a look, copy paste, maybe change a couple of words, but keep it simple. You do not need to start from scratch. So yes, definitely that helps with the scheduling side of things. Another way that you can get things scheduled well ahead of time by keeping the content simple is to, again, repurpose your most popular content. So this could be your most popular emails for the year. It could be your most popular social media posts. It could be podcasts, blogs, and you can just copy and paste text and put it into an email. People love that sort of stuff. You could also do a roundup. So just do a simple here's my top 5 podcast episodes for the year. Hint, that is probably something I'm going to be doing because it is just something easy and there's so many things that people miss through the time. Or you could do a roundup of content that is relevant to this time of year. So you could say, okay, coming into your planning, here's my top 5 blog posts around planning. Or if you're thinking about your self-improvement and what you want to make better, do a roundup of some of your best content around that and to say, here's some things for you to have a read. Because sometimes people just have, especially between that Christmas and New Year's, they're wanting to sit down with a cuppa and they might have more time to sit back and read some of this content that they've intended to all the year, but they've been so busy doing the work that they haven't had time just to sit with things. Another roundup sort of style thing is to celebrate some client or student wins through the year. So celebrate some things that have happened in your business, but also celebrate your clients. You might share some of their stuff. So it's all about sending on the love. And finally, a simple content idea is just to give something. So it's so much fun just to give some piece of free content, some sort of download that maybe people that it's typically only paid, or something that is you don't have available necessarily all of the time, and just have it as this download that people can get for a week or 2 weeks. And this is fantastic for engagement, by the way, because it gives clicks. So it's like a little Christmas present to your people, to your subscribers, to say thanks for being around for the year. I've seen some people do fantastic things with printable planners, like annual planners or ideas. It's just a fun way to celebrate this time of year and just to get those wins on the board. Okay, and then my final tip is all about, of course, automation. So if you've got automation already set up with your email marketing, you're already winning, because even if you do not write a single email for a month, your automations are covering things. So really important ones to check in on if you are wanting to take a break, or if you're thinking I might just add one automation just so I've got something in place, is firstly just have a look at your welcome series. So make sure you've got a welcome series in place that at least gets people to a wait list or to a booking form, etc. Also, something as simple like a browse abandonment. I trust people have abandoned cart set up, but a browse abandonment so that if someone views a product or if someone views a services page or a sales page, you can send them an automated email that checks in with them, that follows up and that says, do you have any questions? Or that gives them some more information. Also, we want to make sure our post-purchase is on point. So if you do have something that you are continuing to sell, or you are still having people booking in with you, but you're not necessarily there to make it happen, to send those confirmations, make sure those confirmations are automated. I'm sure if you've done this regularly, you just say, okay, we've got you booked in. The next step is to complete your contract, or here's what you can expect, or you've purchased this program, here's how to get support, here's how you access everything. If you write just a couple of those emails, those people are going to be looked after even if you aren't here. And my final favorite one, which I will mention here, but it might be a bit big if you are doing it just now at the end of the year, but maybe you think, oh, okay, I might start that for going forward into next year, is a content funnel. So a content funnel is kind of like an extended welcome series. So this is after someone finishes their initial welcome series with you, they might get a series of emails for 4 weeks, 12 weeks, 20 weeks, a whole year if you want. And you can just start with a few emails and just gradually add to it. And so what that means is anyone new who comes along is getting added to that content funnel, and then they are at least getting emails no matter what. Now, of course, caveat with that, if you are worried about, okay, I don't want to actually send emails over Christmas or that 1 week, you can just pause it for a week and then turn it back on again. So that's totally fine. So that is a fun one to begin with. And you can even add all your existing subscribers to it too. So if you're thinking, oh, you know what, I want to start with some simple content. I like some of those easy content ideas. I'm going to start with those for my content funnel and then just add everyone so new people are getting it as well as existing people, and you are just, enjoying the Christmas season. So to help with that, if you are like, okay, I would love to get one of these things set up and ready in time for my break, and you want the shortcut because you might be short on time, definitely check out my online email marketing superstore at yaelkeown.com/shop. I have a couple of courses there dedicated to automations. So one for e-commerce businesses and one for services and digital creators. And that has a whole range of automation recipes and instructions on how to set things up. There's also some around specific email market. There's also separate how-to email marketing software courses to show you how to get things set up. There is also a couple of welcome series builders. So if you're like, okay, if you just want to get a welcome series done now, get in there and get either an e-commerce version or the services version, and you can get that. Just take my email swipe files, take my instructions, and get it set up super, super quickly. So that is your shortcut. You can check that out at yaelkeown.com/shop. So quick recap. It is totally okay to take a break from sending emails. Just please set a date to return. Make sure you are communicating with your subscribers and your clients and students, your deadlines, your availabilities, to give yourself that breathing room, and that you've got that autoresponder turned on. If you want to continue sending emails, pre-schedule as much as possible, and to make that easy on yourself, just keep the content simple. You don't need to send a novel every time. So you can repurpose past content, you can do a roundup, you can celebrate wins, or you can just give a gift. And then finally, take this chance just to have a quick look at your automations, or think, what automation can I add to make sure people are still being looked after? So do I need a welcome series? Do I want some browser abandonment? Is my post-purchase automations working well? And how can I make my life easier, not only right now, but going into the future from this day forward, that's one area that you don't need to worry about again. So thank you so much for joining me today. This is, I believe, my last episode that will be released this year. So thank you so much for continuing on this journey with me. And I wish you all a wonderful Christmas and New Year. But in the meantime, I would love to hear from you about what you have loved from this episode or what you want to know more about. So please let me know over on Instagram. I am at yaelkeown, all one word, and I'll see you in the next episode. Thank you for listening to Easy Email Marketing. It's an absolute honour that you chose to listen. If you love this episode, then it would mean the world to me if you could leave a review so that others can find this podcast and make their email marketing easy too. Finally, make sure to subscribe so that you don't miss a thing. Until next time, have an awesome day and make sure to keep showing up and serving in those inboxes.